What if everyone forgot who I was?
What?
They're coming here because of me, right? Because I'm Peter Parker? So cast a new spell. But this time make everyone forget who Peter Parker is. Make everyone forget. Me.
No.
But it would work, right?
Yeah, it would work.
School's in session. I'm Mr. Guzman. Welcome to the classroom. Today I want to talk about the new Spider-Man movie, which will be the fourth MCU Spider-Man movie called Spider-Man Brand New Day, directed by Destin Cretton. What does the term Brand New Day really mean? For me, I believe it's a reset for Peter Parker Spider-Man in the MCU. And the comic book was very similar too. So it's a reset. It's a lot more street level. He's doesn't have the same Avengers safety net anymore. Doesn't have his iron suit anymore, his iron spider suit he got from the Stark Tech. Doesn't have that fabricator so he can make whatever he wants and everything like that. If you saw the end of No Way Home, he's back to sewing his spandex suit and being a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. And every time someone says, "Hey, Peter Parker," they're like, "Who's that?" Because they don't remember anymore. Let's talk about the comic similarities to the movie No Way Home and what I'm expecting in Brand New Day. So everyone forgot Peter Parker, right? They don't know he exists. Basically, like he never existed, like Dr. Strange said.
But you gotta understand, that would mean that everyone who knows and loves you, we'd have no memory of you.
So with the spell at the end of No Way Home, people remember that there is a Spider-Man, but they don't know who it is. And they don't remember that there was ever a person named Peter Parker anymore. Like even when we're talking about Happy at the end, when they're at the cemetery, he remembered Spider-Man. He didn't remember anyone named Peter Parker or that looked like Peter Parker. So that's just a little difference right there, okay? And I thought it was kind of cool because I know from what I heard from the trade magazines, Sony was pushing for a big multiversal movie again because No Way Home was such a big hit, right? It made like $1 billion plus. So let's do it again because all their other movies, Madam Web, Craven, all that, weren't making that much money, right? Glad Marvel stuck with it and said, hey, let's do a street level one. We have a really good story idea for this. By being more street level, you can bring in characters like I know confirmed are going to be brought in, like Frank Castle's Punisher. He debuted in The Amazing Spider-Man in 1974. It was number 129. That was the first time we saw Frank Castle's Punisher in a Marvel comic. At the time, someone hired the Punisher to take out the vigilante Spider-Man as if he were a bad guy. I was really young. I was born 5 years later, so I believe they figured out that he was doing the wrong hit, and then they ended up working together to take out the real bad guys. So something like that's probably going to happen up in here, right? That's what I think. That sets up a good parallel with the MCU. From that one there, is Spider-Man framed, or is he really a negative dude? Did he really kill Mysterio? Is he really a menace like J. Jonah Jameson says? And I think it's going to be the same, where Frank Castle Punisher is going to go after Spider-Man before he knows what's really going on. He's going to think he's the bad guy. Someone's going to feed him some information, but then he's going to know what's going on, and then I believe there's going to be a team-up. That's what I think. So again, ops at first, friends later. He's going to be the initial antagonist. Not all the way through the movie. So he's going to start as the main antagonist for Spider-Man. He's going to be kind of a brutal mentor after, though. I think once they figure out what's going on, because if you think about every Spider-Man movie, there's been a father figure, right? The first one, Homecoming, we had Tony Stark. That was like his, father figure, kind of scolded him at times, gave him props when he needed it. The second one, it was kind of Mysterio, kind of Nick Fury. One turned out not to be a great guy. The one turned out to be a Skrull. The last movie, I believe Doctor Strange was filling that role. Doctor Strange was going to be the more mentory kind of, tough love dad kind of guy and all that stuff like that. So in this one, it's going to be Frank Castle and then maybe a little bit of the guy I'm going to talk about next that's confirmed to be in this movie. Before I get to the next guy, Punisher and Spider-Man. They're both vigilantes, I guess you could say, right? They work outside the law, but they're trying to do something good. But that's where it ends, right? That's where the parallels end. They're very different people. The way they approach things are different. I think the Punisher's going to try to talk Peter into being more like him and less like Daredevil as far as, put him down and take him down and make sure they never come back. You got the contrast. You got the Punisher, zero mercy. No mercy like Cobra Kai. And you got Peter, who believes in people. I mean, the last movie, he was trying to save 6 of the worst villains Spider-Man's ever faced and tried to make them better people. That's who Peter is. That's what he does. With great power comes great responsibility and restraint, too. With having Frank Castle in there and being street level, we can see some more of this stuff. I wouldn't be surprised to see Daredevil Matt Murdock in this of some sort, even as a lawyer or as the devil of Hell's Kitchen, right? Iron Fist could be in this, man, because if Destin Cretton, the director, he made Shang-Chi. So he knows how to do a little kung fu choreography in his movies and make it look good and make it follow the storyline. So I wouldn't be surprised to see some Daredevils, some Iron Fist, some Echo up in there doing some cool stuff. Maybe Ronan make a quick appearance. Nah, that's not going to happen. I don't think so. See some of these more street level people. And maybe somehow Kingpin could be tied and become the final antagonist. Did you guys know the Hulk's going to be in this? The one we all like, Bruce Banner. Not sure if he's going to be Smart Hulk or not. There's some rumors I'm going to talk about in a second. One question. Did Hulk's gamma-enhanced brain resist Strange's spell? Doctor Strange is the one who made the spell that made everyone forget Peter Parker. Peter asked for that, though. If you didn't see it, don't blame Doctor Strange. Peter wanted it. Because of the Hulk, because he switches between Bruce Banner and the Hulk, and he's still Professor Hulk now, Smart Hulk, if you would. Will he remember? Like, if he turns straight up to the Hulk again, is he the Hulk? Or does he say, oh, Peter Parker, yeah, smash? Or when he's fully Mark Ruffalo, Bruce Banner, maybe he remembers there. I don't know. I was like, I'm trying to figure out how the Hulk fits in this whole thing. And that would make sense too. And also, he could be another father figure, right? Which Hulk are we going to get? Are we going to get the Professor Hulk again, the smart one from Endgame?
Hulk out.
It's going to go back to Savage Hulk, where he's just wild and like not the brightest, but he gets very powerful. Or is it going to be what I truly think it is, and it's going to be Joe Fixit, the Gray Hulk. If you didn't know, there was a Gray Hulk version of the Hulk, which is kind of funny because originally they wanted to make him gray, but green was cheaper or something, or when they printed it, it looked green. I'm going to look that one up, and I'm going to get a little more information for you about that later. I do think it's going to be Joe Fixit, which is Gray Hulk. Gray Hulk is a Hulk that can talk. He's brighter, but he's a little bit more kind of like a mob boss kind of vibe or a tough guy. I think he's going to be more of that kind of level. I think Bruce Banner might be tinkering with himself some more, and then he turns into that Gray Hulk guy. That would be kind of fun. I like to see that. And especially if you can remember Peter. And maybe that can bridge somehow while we can get other people to remember Peter too. Because MJ and Ned, man, they need to learn about this guy again. We know that Sadie Sink will also be in this movie. Max from Stranger Things. Love me some Running Up the Hill. And, Kate Bush is awesome too. But she ain't in this movie because Sadie Sink is. Who's she going to play? There's been a lot of rumors and stuff. One possibility is Jean Grey. And again, not just because she has red hair, just like Jean Grey. I think the X-Men, when they're introduced, are going to be very young. They're going to try to keep them young when they introduce them, so that way they don't age out and everything like that, like some of the Avengers have been doing, right? From back in the day. If that is the case, I would make a lot of sense if she was Jean Grey, again, from the X-Men, Cyclops' better half a lot of the times, and things like this. Again, powers with telekinesis and stuff, that could really bridge this multiversal saga that's going on currently. The next saga is supposed to be the Mutant Saga. That'd be cool for all the mutant hype and everything, but it's possible that may be too much story, too much character just to be kind of cameoed or really short in a Spider-Man movie. So maybe not Jean Grey. I'm going to vote no on this one. Could it be Mayday Parker? Mayday Parker is the daughter of Peter Parker, so maybe there's still a multiversal tear somewhere. Maybe Sony's like, okay, you're gonna get a little bit of multiversal, we can be street level, but somehow force this in. And what it could be is that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man had a daughter, because he said he was older, he was making it work with MJ. Maybe they have a daughter now. Maybe it's Mayday, like in the comics.
I wish I could tell you, but it's like I don't do it. Like I don't do breathing.
And maybe somehow she found a way back to our universe, and she's gonna maybe help out Peter like the dad did, if it is the case to be Tobey Maguire. Maybe it's a Mary Jane Watson. The MJ they have now, I think the last name, the J stands for Jones. In the comic books, it was Caucasian redheaded person named Mary Jane Watson, right? So maybe he meets the other MJ, and that could be the one. A theory it could be this girl that helps out the Punisher. So basically, the Punisher in some comics had a girl that helped him out, his war against crime and all of that. It could just be his person, his main helper. But the fact that it's Sadie Sink, who's a pretty up and rising star right now, pretty big, especially with Stranger Things, that I don't think they would give her that small of a role. So maybe not. I think the most likely that Sadie Sink will be playing Felicia Hardy, who's the Black Cat. The Black Cat who has basically luck powers. Basically, she can give other people bad luck a little bit. That was later in the comics too. She didn't always have those powers. Kind of a cat burglar, right? Kind of a frenemy of Spider-Man. Sometimes they're either hating each other. He's trying to get her put away in jail, or they're having a smooch sometimes, and sometimes they're, an item. That's who I do think. If I had to pick from any of these choices, I think it's going to be Felicia Hardy, the Black Cat. Let's talk about villains, man. There's 2 villains I think is going to be in it. We're not counting the Punisher. The first one is the Kingpin. I mentioned it before because he's Mayor Fisk right now. At the end of the Daredevil series, he's trying to get rid of all the vigilantes. Even talked about someone in a spider outfit.
We know how to take care of ourselves. We don't need a gun-toting vigilante who wears a skull on his chest, or a man who dresses in a spider outfit, or a guy who wears devil horns to save us. No.
Even if he's not the direct one, he's going to be the overarching energy, if you would, the overarching storyline that is going to be trying to take down these vigilantes like the Punisher, like Spider-Man, like Daredevil, like Iron Fist, like Luke Cage, like Jessica Jones. I can keep going and going. White Tiger. What I think is the main antagonist that we're going to be going against and really going for, and the one we're trying to take out the most, is going to be Mr. Negative. He was big in the comics. If you play the Spider-Man video game, you might know Mr. Negative. He is a pretty cool character, and we haven't seen him in any kind of Marvel movie from way back till now. So I think it would be cool to bring someone a little fresher that we haven't seen yet. I'd like to see how they make him look in the MCU. I think that would be really fun. I'm talking that visual contrast, that light, dark, that negative thing. It would be really cool on film, I believe, and I think he'll be the main guy working for Kingpin, perhaps. Kingpin tries to get Frank Castle to go after him and says, no, no, no. And then Mr. Negative is like, you know what? I got you, Wilson. Mr. Fisk, I'm going to go take out the spider for you. And a lot of us that are big Marvel fans want to see the regular Spider-Man suit and the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. We want to see him do that street level stuff. Without that Stark safety net, I'm excited to see where Tom Holland's Peter Parker goes next. Because this movie, I believe, will be successful, I think this will further cement Spider-Man as the main anchor for the MCU as far as characters, as far as single characters. Avengers is the team that anchors it, but I do believe Spider-Man, if there was those, like in Deadpool and Wolverine, where they have those anchor beings, I think in the 616 MCU, it is Tom Holland's Peter Parker Spider-Man. So that's some of my predictions about what's real, what's fake, and what's going to happen in this great movie coming up called Spider-Man Brand New Day. I'll see you next period.
I had a weblog.
Whoa, why?
Existential crisis stuff.
Yeah, don't get me started on that.
Always got mad when the class was dismissed, but when it was a session, I always had a question.